Ready? All right, the Grand Rapids Town Board is meeting Wednesday, July 9th, 2025 at 6 p.m. at the Grand Rapids Fire Station, 2410 48th Street South. First thing on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Stand. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, second thing on the agenda is to approve the agenda. Does anybody have any additions or corrections? Seeing none. Next thing is to approve the minutes of the June 11th, 2025 Town Board meeting.
Joe Cornetti, also move.
Thank you, Bill.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Fourth thing on the agenda is public comment. People wishing to address the board will be limited to 2 minutes each, with public comment limited to a total of 30 minutes. Please note, the board will also take comment from the public on agenda items as called by the chair, but not during public comment. Please note that once the board begins discussion on an agenda item, no further comment will be allowed from the public on that issue. Does anybody from the public want to address the board? All right. Then we'll move into the monthly reports from the departments. We'll start with the fire department. Bob?
All right, good evening, board and residents. We're currently staffed with 43 members. We're always looking for motivated individuals for fire and EMS. Please stop by the fire station or contact the fire department if you have any interest in serving your community. For the month of June, we responded to 43 calls for service, consisting of the following. We had 30 EMS calls and 13 fire calls, compared to 39 EMS calls last year and 11 calls this year. So of those 13 calls, 6 were in Grand Rapids, 3 in Saratoga, 3 in Grant, and 1 was a mutual aid. So that mutual aid was with the Coosa Fire Department in Saratoga. And then we had 2 motor vehicle accidents, 1 gas leak smell, 1 wildland brush, 6 power line storm calls, 1 carbon monoxide detector, and 1 landing zone for Lifelink 3. For training, EMS we did not meet. Fire, we did our NFP annual hose testing for LDH hose, which is our large diameter hose, not the attack hose. And then while we had everything out, we did a relay pumping exercise using all three pumpers. I see I didn't finish my sentence there. Other training for the month, Chiefs Pyatt and Roosh attended the Wisconsin State Fire Chiefs Conference. 3 members passed their Firefighter 1 practical, and that was Ashlyn Overturf, Madison Lehman, and Chris Norton. And Trenton Wanta and Nathaniel Grist passed their Firefighter 2 practical. Chief Roosh passed his FAA Part 107 test to fly our drones, so we're up to 3 pilots now for our drone program. So last month we had 1 monthly Department 3 training meetings, 1 officer meeting. And for public relations last month, we took some equipment out to the Bluegrass Lake Touch Truck. And then we also attended the EAA breakfast for the local EAA chapter out at Alexander Field. Took 3 vehicles out there. We did 3 address signs last month, and the safety department has 0 injuries to report.
I guess I just have one question for you. When you get a call for like a down power line, what does the fire department do in that situation?
Just providing safety. We don't mess with any power lines. Yeah, making sure that sometimes they start fires, so making sure like if some embers fall and start a grass fire underneath the power line's been so wet, that didn't happen lately, but yeah, we're just kind of securing the area and wait until the power company arrives, and then usually once the power company arrives, then they release us and then we take off. But yeah, make sure, especially if there's down wires over the road, then we block the road off. Just assure public safety till the power. Yeah, we don't touch any power lines. Nothing.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions for Bob?
Thank you.
Thank you. Police Department.
Thanks, Art. For the month of June, the PD received 420 calls for service. Monthly statistics are on the report there for citations issued and arrests. I completed instructor development at Fox Valley Tech on June 5th. That's a 32-hour course, and it's a prerequisite to instruct any in-service or academy courses in law enforcement. So my hope is I can fill in where we have holes with instructors. So right now I'm just a basic. I'll probably pick up some like OWI. Also, hopefully be confirmed this month for constitutional law as well. Bluegrass at the Lake was held June 12th through 14th. That's a nonprofit event that raised donations for Wood County Critical Incident Stress Management Team. If you're not familiar, maybe with CISM, and also they do critical incident training for like law enforcement officers and stuff. They're really starting to branch out too. I see for even like non-law enforcement, like just civilian instruction and stuff like that. But critical incident training, critical incident stress management can be a little bit different if the critical incident stress focuses maybe on like the debriefing stage for a specific incident. North Central Chiefs meeting was held on the 26th of June. That included a presentation by Toma VA this year, suicide prevention program manager, and also the Veterans Justice Outreach Coordinator were there. We are in the Toma area for here, so that's why it's Toma VA. EAA Chapter 706 had a pancake breakfast. Tammy Kubishak was there to interact with the public and stuff, and I hear she ate twice. Yes. And looking ahead, the annual water ski tournament is the 17th through July 20th. The closure of Lake Wazeech has all been posted. That's everything east of the boat landing. So because of the safety, concerns and everything, there's no swimming unfortunately allowed for that weekend with all the boat traffic and stuff. And that does include fishing from shore in those areas as well, according to ordinance. And that's really it for June.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Joe?
Thank you, Joe.
Include anything, Jewel's report?
I can read it if you want.
Just read her report?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Jewel is not here. We've got her report, so if I remember what she usually puts in here. Let's see. So her current month receipts were $20,740.61. Current month disbursements were $345,067.69. The cash checking account has $107,838.60. Repo account $126,333. Money market at Prevail $348,535.17. Tax account has $297.41. Tax repo account $6,259.85. For a total of $589,264.03. Outstanding checks are $70,875.36. Total cash on hand $518,388.67. And money market, ARPA, we have $9,597.49 remaining in that, and $4.08 in interest, for a total of $9,601.57 left in the ARPA account.
Great, thank you. Mike, Public Works update?
As you can see, the bike trail has been paved. We're working on the black dirt on the edges as weather permits when it's not too hot. Airport Avenue has also been overlaid. Other than that, our patching, our mowing, had some storm damage. All three of us were out for approximately 4 hours extra that day getting trees off the road. Our driveway's been finished over at the office. The door will be installed tomorrow, so everybody can jump up and down with joy for that. Our new 1-ton
chassis has been built. We're waiting for it to be delivered from Chicago, and then that can go to Monroe and get finished. That's about all we've got for now. So.
All right. Any questions, Mike? All right, thank you very much, Mike. All right, number 6, consideration and possible action on recycling, solid waste, and water committee's recommendation for holding a bulky waste drop-off event. So, just a little background, recycling solid waste, we met on June 19th. We met with Tim Miller from Waste Management to talk a little bit about the bulky waste drop-off event that's in the contract. Under the contract, we can do these programs twice a year. They will provide the dumpsters for that. We have to pay for disposal of any of the materials that go in the dumpsters. We did not make a recommendation. We just wanted to bring it to the board to kind of see what the appetite is for that kind of event in Grand Rapids.
If I may.
Yes, please.
And there is a question, if we hold one, we're only gonna hold one this year, and where are we gonna have it, at the garage or other places? Who are we gonna get to help out? It's kinda like the Choose to Reuse program. Choose to Reuse program, we used to get the dumpsters donated to us, and for the metal and stuff like that, that used to go to
Fox Valley.
Junkyard, Highway 54, and we just give them whatever we had there, but we would charge somebody just so much for a refrigerator or something like that, but they wouldn't charge us anything, they would take it all. And I was quite surprised to hear that we have to pay for the disposal of that. That surprised me, I didn't know that was part of it. And we'd have to get help, I thought, if we held it at, what is it,
Lions Club?
yeah, the Lions Club here. You know, who are we gonna get to help it, because it's locked. Is what happens is they're gonna drop them off right, as he said, we would drop them off Friday, and it would be the Saturday would be the day, and then we would pick them up Monday. And, you know, sometimes when people bring those things, they bring the ones that don't leak. So if it rains, you pay for the water. No, we had that happen, so. It ain't as good a thing as I thought, let's put it that way. I just thought we have something like a Choose to Reuse, but not bring the other stuff, just disposal of big things, you know. I thought we could set that up ourselves, you know, for one time. But we need help, that's it.
Right.
Disposal without their dumpsters, is what you're saying?
Yeah, well, right.
I'm talking with Jeff on this topic, and Mike also brought it up. I think the last Choose to Reuse ended up costing us money, put unneeded expense back in our pocket and cleanup and so on, and wish there was a better.
I don't know of one, I don't know of a cost.
Well, I heard there was a lot of cleanup and so on after unwanted stuff that wasn't taken was left, and but regardless, I wish there was a way around some of these things to have this, but if it's gonna cost us a bunch of money.
It didn't cost this town any money.
I'm just talking about a future event, Bill. We were slightly misled by our rep. I think we all assumed that would have been a no charge deal, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, they were just hauling the containers and picking them up.
Mhm.
We had to pay by the ton.
Right.
That's what that was, to get rid of it.
And I would think.
And they highly recommended like an end motor to push the stuff down because it was 330-yard dumpsters, correct, is what they supplied?
Right.
So you throw a couple couches in that, takes up a lot of room real fast.
And I guess even the cost of overtime, I mean, first you need somebody that would be willing to do it on a Saturday, to give up their Saturday to do it, but then it's the additional cost to Public Works to be there to do it, so I'm not sure.
Like he said too, he highly recommended it in a caged area because you'll have people dropping stuff off 24/7 that weekend. So,
And we handle that with used to reuse. And there was nobody else involved in it but volunteers, you know. And
Was there something from the board after the last choose to reuse that we wouldn't do another one, or was there?
no, we made a motion to have no more.
Yeah, there was action taken to not have any more juice reuses.
I do remember.
Okay, all right.
Because it was a, the police they closed roads, they even closed roads they weren't supposed to close, so people thought there was no choose to reuse because there was the roads closed and cars were lined up. It was no different than an auction or the town having rummage sales and causing that. But I made the motion not to have choose to reuse, so.
Okay.
I said I made the motion at that
Sure,
one
yep,
meeting not to
I
have
understand.
choose to reuse
Sure.
anymore.
Okay.
And I personally do not think we should go the way they said here. You know, town of Saratoga has a tire day, and you can bring in 10 tires. It don't cost anybody anything. They have that twice a year. That's what Saratoga has. I know other towns that have pickup, but we used to have a person that was over at the garage on a Saturday, would be there, and you would have to pay him to haul it away. So I really don't think we should go with, that's just my thoughts.
So we're just gonna leave this as consideration or no action taken, or
I mean, if we
do we
don't,
need a motion?
if we don't have a motion, then it dies.
Dies.
Any further discussion? All right, we'll move on. Number 7, consideration and possible action on public buildings recommendation for purchase or lease of a new server.
yeah, so last night, me and Bill met, I think we're all there for the most part here, but according to John Gethers from Tech Pros, which I guess has been servicing the town here for quite a while. He's seeing things in what he's looking at that sounds like our servers could break in a year, could break in 2 days. So he's requesting or highly suggests that we take a look at this. He gave us 2 options of 2 different options here. One is a Super Micro, which is the more value-based price here, or a Dell. And if I'm wrong, Lisa, he mentioned that this Dell should take care of the town building and the police department all at once.
Yes, they would actually, I talked to him a little bit today, they both would take care of all at once. But the Dell has some advantages as parts are easier to obtain if something goes wrong. And then because the Super one is more of a custom built, so it's harder to repair. And there's more support structure behind the Dell where he can access things remotely to see warnings and see see things ahead of time and have to be able to remote in rather than coming here. So just better monitoring, basically. But they both would replace and be CJIS compliant and everything for PD. So either or, that would be sufficient. It's just a matter of quality and monitoring.
Okay, I got a question. So,
Yes, Bill.
do we have enough money in the budget to do it, or this would be budgeted for next year?
So we do not have the funds, nothing budgeted, there's not funds to purchase it, which is why he gave us the lease options. And then we could, at budget time, we could budget to pay it off next year. It's a dollar buyout, so there's no penalty to pay it off early. So I would say the lease options, and then at budget time, we could figure out whether we want to pay it off or just do payments.
Would you also be more acceptable to the Val one than the other one? we're
I
going to?
think if,
Okay.
if we're going to do that big of a purchase, I don't believe in just saving a few dollars to have it cost us in the long run. I guess that would be my preference
The
to,
one we have right now is like 7
7 years old.
years old.
Mhm.
I'll make a motion to go with the Val
I-
one.
I've got a question before
Well,
we go
let-
any further.
Yeah,
We
go
have a
ahead.
Motion. We need a second before we can have further discussion.
And Bill, do you want to reference if the lease option in your
Yes,
motion? Okay.
yes.
We have a motion on the floor.
I'll second because that was my recommendation also, is the lease.
Okay, then, any further discussion, Jason?
Would it, in my eyes, if either of these units is warranted for 5 years, it almost is more attractive to lease it for the 5 years than it's covered, wouldn't it be? Or I guess
I guess it would
That's my
depend on what the
thinking.
interest.
47 times 60 is over 29,000, so you're paying 7,000 in interest.
Oh, didn't see that.
Yeah. I mean, it would
It'd
still be
a-
under the
Yeah,
warranty,
it's still be
so.
warranted for the 5 years.
But we could easily just budget to pay it off next year then.
Mr. Chairman, somewhat similar to Supervisor Warren's comment about warranty. I see warranty referenced on the Super Micro one. I didn't see the warranty referenced on that email. Is it the same 5-year warranty?
Yes, the reason it does not say it for the other one, because when he first gave me the quotes, he just did the Super Micro because I had told him we didn't have the funds, so he didn't want to give us the other one, but they both would have the same warranty,
All right, yeah.
same everything else. It's just, he was trying to save a little funds, but.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, consideration and possible action on Police Chief Zerflu's request to purchase 2 new squad computers, replacing 2 computers that will no longer be supported by Windows 10. Lisa, would you want to give any background on that?
Sure. So Chief Zerflu had discovered, so last year's budget time, we budgeted for 2 tough books, but that's for the new squads. So he discovered after budget time earlier this year that two of the squads have older computers. 2 of them, the 2 oldest ones, that they will be Windows 10 and support on October 15th, I believe. 14th. So after that date, they're not going to be able to have access to everything that they need on that in order to run everything properly. So obviously, it's a high, it's 7,408 for 2 of them. Obviously, he can't use that all from his ENS line because he's not going to have, he's got vests that have to be purchased yet this year, body cam payment. So essentially, if the ARPA interest that we have, if that's the second sheet, we do still have the $4,256.95 remaining in ARPA interest. So if we wanted, you could use that, and then he would just take the balance out of ENS if that was acceptable. And then, yeah, if you want to add anything, I don't know if you have anything to add.
Well, like a concerned citizen asked me about today, the unfortunate fact is so CJIS, Criminal Justice Information System, we can run that on computers that don't have security updates, even though they also have, their own firewall and everything. If Windows isn't supporting that system, we can't use it. The CF31s, which are the old, smaller, tough books, just aren't. I kind of teased the idea with John Gethers about maybe just changing out some of the hardware, but I mean, even if you're going to swap out a processor, I mean, at that point, you might as well buy a whole new computer. They're incredibly expensive. So the computer just can't take Windows 11. It's just not, it doesn't meet the specifications, I guess. One of them is basically shot anyway. Touchscreen doesn't work, and I'm using it for now because if you forget it doesn't work and you touch it, you got to reset it. But it's unfortunate. Taking both out of ENS would basically eat the entire line item, unfortunately. But I could absorb one, I think, and still be somewhat comfortable.
That was my question. What type of balance would you have left over? You have some best to purchase?
Just a rough estimate, Lisa and I went over, I think it was about 2,000 for, half the year here. So, and I think that was with both of them.
Yes. Well, you mean if you used it for both of them?
Yes.
Yes.
It would leave me with somewhere around, or let's just assume 1,500 because I think I have a handle on everything that needs to be paid for yet. The Axon cost is coming up. The vests they went up only like $100, so it's not a major issue. But I just feel like 1,500 to 2,000 would be a little stress on me for the rest of the year. But I mean, if I had to, I could, or I could. Honestly, an option is I just don't have a computer then in the squad, which the officers need one. I mean, they just do. And I really do too. I do enforcement, obviously traffic and stuff, but I could, get away with it, I think, easier than them. So if we really didn't want to do that is an option.
Can't have anything unforeseen with the new squads that those are all in?
Like unexpected, it's hard to answer that because we're still waiting on the hail damage. I'm pretty confident with Belco though that the quote they gave us last year and the plan for 10 to 15%. I think Belco's estimate is going to be still what we're going to pay. We just can't do anything until the squads are fixed because it's a lot more extra labor to drop headliners and stuff when you have cages in there and stuff. So.
I'm actually not sure if they're aware.
Oh, they might not be.
I just thought of that. So
Oh.
The new squads were literally picked up and taken to Belco, and they got hit by that hailstorm.
Good
So,
portage.
Brand new squads that were even, so we'll have a loss of a deductible, obviously, at least.
Yeah.
But hopefully that's, we're still waiting.
It's
been-
not, they're not, you can't even hardly see it.
Right.
I mean, you can't. It's just the fact that they are new squads.
And we have to repair it, or the insurance company won't allow us to put full coverage on it, which
Right.
obviously in deer country we need to have. So it's unfortunate, bad timing.
Yeah.
On here is 2 docking stations. Are those docking stations not compatible, or are they just worn out?
No, one is, the 55s, I think, it has to do with the size.
Okay.
So 31 to 55. I don't know the exact dimensions, but they're wider.
And I see this as Baycom, and I see it's under state contract. I mean, I'm assuming this is, we get a lot of the
Yep,
technical stuff?
yes, we got our 2 last year there. I had him take the power supplies off because he told me they're transferable as long as they're not burned out, and they're not. So a whopping, $150 each, I think, came off. But yeah, Baycom, Gethers, I was gonna try to order through them, and they said honestly, Baycom would be cheaper than anything they could get. So
That's my question. Thank you.
So is there, so is there $1, I know, $2,000 is left over that has to come out of your budget?
I'm actually doing that for you right as we speak. speak here. The difference would be 3,152 if you use the, the ARPA of 4,256.95. That would leave Joe having 3,152 coming out of ENS. Does that sound about what we were thinking? 7,408. That should be the grand total, right? That's on here.
So, I think I might have just divided it in half when I did
Oh.
my math.
Okay.
But
Yeah, so if you would decide to in your motion, and you could just say to use the remaining 4,256.95 ARPA interest funds with the police chief using the remaining funds out of his.
I'll make a
EMS
motion
line.
to what she said.
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. June disbursement vouchers. Any questions on any of the disbursements? If there aren't any, we'll move on to number 10, operator license applications.
And you should have a sheet with, you've got 1 year and 2 years.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve those
I'll second that.
3.
All right, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we're on to monthly reports from committees. Public Works,
Did not meet.
okay. Just gonna go into Airport Commission then?
Sure. The Airport Commission met, excuse me, July 2nd. Full commission was present. We had representatives from a Zoom meeting from our SEH, our consulting company, Ryan, and then from the Bureau of Aeronautics, Dan, were on those Zoom calls. Still have some obstruction removal talks going on. We're waiting for Ryan from SEH, is the consulting company, is looking into some granting and so on for that. Obstructions again are tall trees and so on. They are quite excited that the craft mill is going down because that's a obstruction for the one runway, but unfortunately that's part of our town that died also. But approvals need to be returned by September 30th, so that should all happen within the next couple months. Record fuel sales again for the month of June. They keep breaking records, like $41,000 worth of fuel sold in June. Was still kind of unfathomable, but it's great. Some runway lighting repairs were done. Talks of a blue butterfly concern on part of the airport, or actually in our entire city, and especially in that airport area. And there's going to be some studies being done on that little guy. The old hangar, which is pretty much a historical item in our town, there's going to be some upgraded lighting being done in the building. Jeremy, the airport manager, is working with our conservation manager from Waterworks and Lighting with that, and Econ Electric, and also possibly some exterior upgrades on the building too, some fascia and painting and so on to keep that building in working condition, because it has a new roof and a very expensive door on the front that was just replaced. As Chief Pyatt and Chief Joe mentioned, the EAA had their pancake breakfast. They served over 400 people, which is another huge draw for them. And then they have tomorrow night, they actually have their hamburger social at 5 p.m. if anyone's interested. Next meeting, August 7th, 8 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Recycling solid waste, we met on June 19th. We discussed kind of the items we did prior. Plan Commission, we did not.
I can give an overview of the Plan Commission. So in the way that the month fell, The Plan Commission hasn't met yet for their July meeting. Their July meeting is Monday, July 14th, so next Monday. On the agenda for that Monday meeting are 3 dog exemption permits. 2 of those are follow-up considerations from last month. 1 chicken permit, a CSM considering combining 2 adjacent parcels, and then there are 2 ordinances on there which would be relevant for possible consideration in the legislative. One of those ordinances is for regulating small-scale solar energy installations. The other one is for portable storage containers and considerations as to timing restrictions on storage of those portable storage containers. So that is the agenda for next Monday's meeting.
Great, thank you. Public buildings?
Yeah, we met last night and I already gave you the spiel on the servers, so.
All right, thank you. Legislative?
Obviously, we haven't met, although we will likely be meeting soon. I'd anticipate that we'll likely have a recommendation on both of those ordinances coming out of Plan Commission. Those were kind of what we were waiting for as we've been working through the small-scale solar installation ordinance. So there are a couple other pending items. If anybody does have any items that you are thinking of for consideration for legislative, just send them either to Lisa or myself, and then we'll send out a email to try to schedule a legislative committee meeting.
Okay, thank you. Public safety, I believe they met?
We did not meet for July.
Okay. Economic development? I don't think they met. Personnel, we did not meet. Bill, WTA meeting?
WTA meeting was held on June 20th at the town of Saratoga Town Hall. There was no speaker at that meeting. I don't even think there was one listed to be there, but Scott Krug, a representative from the 72nd District, talked about the progress on the state budget and how it's going. And Jack Herrick from District 2 Board of Directors of the WTA said has a clerk specialist, that the WTA has a clerk specialist that the town clerks can utilize. The WTA convention is in October. The next meeting will be held on July 18th, and that'll be hosted by the town of Seneca. And the speaker will be Jason Goldberg from the Wood County Planning and Zoning.
All right, thank you, Bill.
That's it.
Thank you. Any reports from individual town board members? Jason?
Our ambulance committee met last month. Not a whole lot really on the agenda. Bill was there. Mainly talking 2 high points. Overdose deaths are continuing to decline because of the availability of Narcan. And there still is a statewide problem with the 911 call with the lift assist and so on. It's really bogging down our EMS and our ambulance systems, if you recall.
Yeah,
we were talking
if I may. So I did ask the question. I says, help me, I'm falling. You know, that. And so when they call somebody, that's who they call is an ambulance. And the ambulance, you know, all over says, don't call the ambulance, you know. But that's what they do. And so whenever people that belong to that, they get that call, that's who sends them out.
And a lot of times say that the elderly or the person, the inhibited person doesn't have a family member close enough or so on, but it just bogs down the ambulance system so much that if there's a lift assist without injury, if they're committed, they have to go to it, but now there could be, say, a heart attack or a serious accident way on the other side of the county, and that ambulance is already basically spoken for. So it's a statewide issue they're really struggling with.
We're seeing it. Because obviously we get, it's ambulance and first responders on the
Yep.
page.
Yeah. they were really recommending if there was this life alert or the lifeline systems. I know my late father had one. You set up contacts, and they really urged it to be a family member, a neighbor, or something like that, not automatic call to the fire department or ambulance. So all their necessary trainings have been updated, and of course they run a very tight ship over there, and they, as always, thank us for their continued support, our continued support. So.
Thank you, Jason. Todd, anything?
Nope, I have not.
Bill, anything to add tonight? No? I don't have anything either. Future agenda items, anybody wants to cover? Okay, with that, we'll look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Todd.
Second.
Thank you, Bill. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
We didn't